Parasalt and good morning, friends. Yes, today is the best day of the year, and you know why? Because it's my birthday. Yes, I don't have a t shirt on today. Yes, I'm all dressed up in my pink and my blue and my Shero badge. Yes, it's the best day of the year. But welcome to Shero Coffee Chat, where coffee meets conversations. I'm your host, Melissa Farmer Hill, a retired Army combat veteran and founder of the Shero Coffee Club, where our mission is to keep the world caffeinated and women, veterans celebrated. Yes, thank you for joining us today. And as always, we'll take a spin around the Shero resource table. We'll have our story of the week and our special guest all coming up right after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, are we ready to get started? There is an echo in here, probably because we are in our transition phase. We are getting ready to move. Yes, move. So if you hear that echo, that's because that is what is happening. But I'm so glad that you guys are here today. And we're going to, of course, get into it with our Shero resource table. At Shero Coffee Chat, we get it. It's a journey, and it's definitely, if you've seen the news lately, and it's definitely not always easy. That's why it's so important to keep our heads on a swivel when it comes to helping our veterans and their family members. With over 16 million veterans out there, not one of us has all the answers, but I truly believe that together we can do a whole lot more. And that's why we created this Shero resource table. It's a special part of our show where we share helpful information, resources, and programs for the veteran community. Because if one of us wins, we all win. Yes, yes. Now let's see. What do we have? What do we have on at our Shero resource table today? Andre, pull up there you go, you guys. I'm talking about it. I'm talking about Shero Uncorked Power 10, celebrating women who serve. You guys, this is our fifth year with Shero Uncorked, and it is very special. This year is very special. We have changed up our entire platform. We have some dynamic speakers that are going to just be pouring into our guests like never before. I felt the need to just go deeper in 2025. And we have these speakers who are going to be talking about everything from faith to finance to fitness to self-care. We're going to try to take a look at 10 pillars that actually shape our lives. And that's why I want you to scan that QR code. I want you to come prepared to just unplug, be seen, be poured into, and celebrate you as a woman veteran at our next Shero Uncorked. We have four speakers already that we've revealed, and we don't know who the fifth is going to be. But if you are tuned in to our Shero Coffee Club website, then you will know who that fifth speaker is. So yes, get your ticket today. Scan that QR code. Andre, bring me in. I always have to say that. And I say it because I always give him different direction. I want you to do this and I want you to do that. But guys, I'm really telling you, this Shero Uncorked this year, 2025, is going to be like none other if you've come to any of our Uncorked events. Now, there's a second Chicagoland event I want to talk to you about. And go ahead and pull it up, Andre. You can pull me out. Yes. Did you know that Shero Coffee Chat is part of the Women Veterans Coffee Chat in Jesse Brown? And we always have some great topics. But this week's topic, coming up Wednesday, June 25th, if you're in Chicagoland area, we want to talk about it. We want to talk about how you are being treated. We're going to have an open conversation about veteran care at Jesse Brown. And Jesse Brown is located at 820 South Damon. We're going to be in the Taylor building in room 3225. And we'll be there from 9:30 until 11. Go ahead and pull me in, Andre. Thank you. And so if you want to talk about if you receive care at the Jesse Brown Hospital, I definitely want you to be a part of it. Come 9:30 to 11:30, Jesse Brown Hospital, and let's talk about care. And that kind of wraps up the Shero resource table. And I want to get to the story of the week. I got to take a sip for this, guys. Now, the United States has officially stepped into the fight with Iran in defense of Israel as B-2 stealth bombers and submarine launch coordinated strike in Iran. And I want you to take a look at this video. I'm not sure. Do we have audio, Andre?
In the conflict between Israel and Iran, as he says the objective is peace in the Middle East.
Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier.
The Iranian Atomic Energy Organization just confirmed the strikes late tonight, calling it a heinous act in contradiction of international law. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu also commenting on the attacks tonight while praising his partnership with the United States.
President Trump and I often say, peace through strength. First comes strength, then comes peace. And tonight, President Trump and the United States acted with a lot of strength.
The immediate impact on Americans is expected to be felt at the gas pump, as Gas Buddy reports tonight that the cost per gallon will likely increase by 5 to 8%. The question also now turns to how Iran will retaliate, as a history professor from DePaul tells us these conflicts tend to drag out over several months or even years.
I don't think Americans have to be concerned that there's going to be some kind of nuclear war. That's the good news. I mean, Iran doesn't have that capability, and so far the other nuclear powers have stayed out. The more likely scenario is that they would engage in a series of protracted terrorist attacks, over the next several months and years, through their proxies.
Now, Governor J.B. Pritzker confirmed tonight that he is working with federal and state partners following this escalation in Iran. He says at this time there are no known threats to Illinois, but they're keeping an eye on it.
Okay. All right, you guys, it's some serious business happening on the world. And of course, I don't want to be talking about this on my birthday, but it's definitely necessary. And if you saw I'm not sure. All right, sorry about that. But if you definitely saw the footage of the attack, you would you are sure to know that those were not warning shots. It was definitely a direct, precise military action, and the entire world has taken notice. Now, of course, the White House confirmed that the operation um, and and talked about the retaliation that 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 if Iran retaliated, that it would be even greater force. And I hope that it never comes to this, but I think we are all kind of thinking that retaliation is not just a matter of if, but how and when. And that is one of my greatest concerns. If we rewind a few months back, when Tulsi Gabbard, who is the director of the National Intelligence, she told Congress that Iran was not building nuclear weapons and that their supreme leader hadn't authorized such a program. And that was the official U.S. intelligence stance. She made it clear that Iran had the capacity to enrich uranium, but they weren't actively developing bombs. Then just last week, President Trump publicly dismissed what she said by saying, "I don't care." What she said, and he insisted that Iran was very close. Then 2 days later, missiles were in the air. And to me, this is just my own personal opinion, it kind of feels like a repeat of history. Now, I have none of the intelligence that the president has, but it, from a layperson stance, it just kind of feels like a repeat of 2003, when we were told Iraq had weapons of mass destructions, and that led us into a war that cost trillions of dollars and countless lives, and those weapons were never found. Now here we are again, in my own opinion, you know, bombing a country that our own intelligence says hasn't crossed the line that the president claims they did. But the whole point is, while politicians argue and missiles fly, Americans are about to feel the impact, I believe, in real time. Iran is a major player in the global oil market. We all know this. And any instability in that region, especially along the straits, where a large portion of the world's oil supply flows, can send prices soaring overnight. So maybe not, but don't be alarmed if you see uh, gas prices rising at the pump, shipping costs increase, a ripple effect. You know, these things have ripple effects through our food, through our goods, and you know, that's just on the economic front. And then, you know, of course, we also have to think about the chilling reality that Iran does not fight alone. Now, we're not afraid. We're America. Of course, we're not afraid, but it also has powerful allies like Russia and China, and they've had Iran also has influence over, you know, these small militias in the Middle East and beyond the Middle East. And those things right there, you know, to me aren't idle threats, because intelligence has been warning us for a very long time that there are terrorist cells operating in the US, and they're just waiting for a signal or a reason or justification to strike. And this potentially could be something that activates them. So let's just be aware of that. I'm not fear mongering, I'm just presenting you with the information, and something to just be aware of. And I just really want to address, you know, the aftermath of a thing, and acknowledge that, you know, war isn't always fought in open battlefields, right? Sometimes it's in city streets, public places, and in everyday life, you know. People who had nothing to do with the decisions made in Washington, well, you know. But President Trump did promise to keep us out of these endless wars. But right now, it kind of looks like we might be in for a long haul. I don't know if there's going to be any retaliation. Um, I hope the only thing I can do is just pray. Pray for the entire world. And that's all you can do. This is global politics is serious business. Global politics is serious business. I mean, we've got our issues on the home front that we haven't addressed. Uh, so yeah, I just want to let you guys. I just wanted to talk about what's going on in Iran. I just and the United States and Israel. I don't know what's happening with Ukraine and Russia right now. There's so many things to think about, but just be aware. Be aware of what's going on, and that's really what I wanted that story to bring to you. Just awareness, okay? So we are going to continue on. We are going to continue on with our special guest. And I'm so glad, you guys, that she is here. Yes, Kim Johnson. Kim Johnson is a proud Navy veteran. She has over 26 years of experience with the Department of Defense. Her life's work has been rooted in service. She's been married to her best friend for 28 amazing years. Congratulations! They have 2 children and 5 grandchildren who keep them on their toes. I can imagine. Kim is a certified trainer with Living Works, an organization dedicated to empowering communities with life-saving skills. For over 5 years, she has also been a consultant in the wellness space. That kind of goes together. I can't wait to talk to her about that. Sharing the benefits of aloe-based skincare to help others feel and live their best. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Miss Kim Johnson.
Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning, Kim. I'm so glad you could be here on my
Happy
birthday.
birthday, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, and you know what? I wish that this conversation could kind of lighten it up from Iran, from the Iran discussion. But June, as we all know, is PTSD Awareness Month, and it's something that is heavily tied to our veteran community. But one of the things I know that you do is help in supporting, help in potentially saving a life with the work that you do. And it's not only the work that you do, but it's the training that you give that helps others to do the same. So you teach us, we go out in the world and we support others. And I'm so glad. So the first thing I want to talk about is SafeTalk. I wanted to get into the Navy, and we will get into that, your Navy experience. But I want to dive into SafeTalk. Can you tell the audience what is SafeTalk?
Well, sure. So, SafeTalk stands for Suicide Alertness for Everyone. It is a program that was developed by Living Works, which is a company that's been around for 42 years out of Alberta, Canada. They specialize in suicide intervention. And what else do you want to know?
Sure. So SafeTalk. Now, how long have you been with SafeTalk? And
So, I've been
what drew you to SafeTalk?
I actually looked up the organization. Having gone through some dark times in my own life, I felt
Mm-hmm.
like my experience was something that I needed to turn around into a positive. I'm the kind of person that feels like if you've overcome something and you see others that are in a situation that you've been in, or that could be something in a situation similar to anything you've ever experienced, that it's my responsibility, just as a human, to be a human and reach out to others and kind of help be a light, in a potentially dark time for them.
Oh my goodness.
So I
I,
researched the
I,
organization. I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, no, go right ahead. I'm just so excited about what you're saying right now.
Yeah, thank you. So I researched the organization, and it was quite pricey to attend the courses, and it just so happened that they ended up having it right across the street at the base, the training for it. I got the time to be able to attend the training that was required for it. Became more interested in being a certified trainer myself, and that's where I am now.
I think it's what you described is exactly when I do interviews for Shero ambassadors. It's exactly what I look for. It's a woman who has went through an experience, and she's come out on the other side resilient. But not only that, she wants to take her pain, the pain that she experienced, and turn it into a positive and show others, kind of like take their hand and lead the way. And I think women who served are built to do that. I think we're built to do that. Now, let's talk a little bit about the training. What does the training consist of?
So it's a 4 hour long training. It gives you the skills to kind of, I won't say detect, but detect the subtle cues that somebody might be thinking of suicide, and then to ask the hard hitting question: are you thinking about suicide? Are you talking about suicide? And then to kind of be the connecting piece to lead that person to somebody who is trained in suicide intervention, because that piece is not my piece, but we lead them to the right person that can further assist.
Right. So if I'm not a professional, I'm glad you said that. How can that training benefit me?
Well, being that it's something where you could be a I don't want to say a pillar, but you could be that light in your community where you kind of are more aware of the signs that somebody might exhibit. You have the opportunity to help your community save a life. Um, yeah.
That's amazing. That's good work. That's good work right there. Let's talk about suicide, and what are some of the myths that you've heard about suicide?
So the number one thing that I think it's not discussed, but we all have heard that just by asking somebody about suicide that you are going to give them that idea. And the reality of the situation is that's not true. By asking somebody, you are simply asking. And by asking somebody, you are giving them the opportunity to process that thought and articulate it and hear themselves say it to somebody who is asking because they're caring. And that kind of starts the uh, the process of taking somebody from, I don't want to say the dark side because that kind of sounds comical, but that dark spot in their life and bringing them more into the light. Um, that's kind of the number one myth that you hear of. Um,
Mhm. And I know I haven't received the training yet, but my question is, are you almost saying, because I don't want to get quote you wrong, are you almost saying that it's okay to ask someone if they're feeling suicidal? Just that question.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Asking that question, I think, makes somebody feel heard. And especially if they're in that dark spot in their life, they are, they're more prone to open up to you because you have asked that question. You wouldn't ask that question if you don't care. So you're
Mm,
giving somebody an avenue to be able to be heard, to express what they're feeling and allow you an in into their life to be that light. And I know I say that and it sounds cliche and I sound like I'm kind of repeating myself, but I strongly feel like it's darkness when you're feeling that bleak and that hopeless, and then there's kind of a light, like a saving grace, literally, when you have the opportunity to take that person from that dark spot that feels so overwhelming, and bring them to a place of calm. And whether that's in the conversation with you, and maybe they're not suicidal, maybe they are just having a bad day. Either way, nothing's been lost. Then you're still connecting with another human.
Yeah, I think that's being able to ask that question. It would make someone feel seen. And I really, with this conversation and what's going on in the world today, I mean, mental illness is real. Suicide, suicidal ideations, all of that stuff is real, and I think it needs to be addressed now more than ever. And so I'm so glad you're here on the show to talk about it. Now, can you tell me, just from your work with SafeTalk, what are some signs that someone might be a suicide risk, or that are less commonly known?
Okay, so I do have my little notes beside me because I did write down some of the most common, and then I wanted to just bring up the least common, because we all know, we've all heard that giving away possessions or being withdrawn are some of the more common signs. However, um, just a few more that I wrote down. If somebody is usually timely, punctual, and suddenly they're frequently late, or they're just late. If somebody is normally, I say, a snazzy dresser, maybe their makeup's done, their hair's done, and then suddenly they just kind of don't care. There's no makeup, their hair's everywhere. Or if they're usually somebody who is caring and empathetic, and suddenly they seem like they don't care about anything. Um, those might be some of the signs. And again, going back to your earlier question, if you're asking about that type of behavior and they're not suicidal, then all you've done is shown somebody that you care enough about them to say, "Hey, what's going on?"
Yeah, yeah. With this being PTSD Awareness Month, what's like a practical step that veterans who are watching can take to support a buddy who might be struggling with PTSD or having suicidal thoughts?
So the best way that I can answer that is a couple years ago, um, I had a I had a random. There were bells in my story. I had a person reach out to me that I hadn't spoken to in 30 years. Actually, it was a Facebook connection. Somebody that I was stationed on board ship with, and it was literally not a "I want something, I need something." It was a "Hi Kim, how are you doing? I just wanted to let you know that I was thinking about you and hope everything is going well. What's going on in your life?" Something to that extent, and it was really something that touched me. And admittedly, I have not done that other than the veterans that I connect with on a daily basis. Probably should do it more often, but I think reaching out like that is a way that we actually have the ability to touch lives, and help bring people out of whatever they're in. And you and I both know that as veterans, for the most part, we were kind of taught to rub a little dirt on it, right? So it's not
Right.
something that is exposed to the world. We might be silently hurting. So reaching out, getting people talking, I think that's the answer to your question.
That is excellent. So the challenge to everyone watching this week is to reach out to someone who's been on your mind and on your heart. And if you see someone that where Kim talked about, if they were snazzy dresser and they just start to act, their behavior changes, and you see that their behavior is starting to change, do not be afraid to go and ask the question flat out. Are you feeling suicidal? Because that they will be seen, they will feel seen. And I know we have to get ready to go. Look how fast the time went. I know we have to get ready to go, but Kim and Shero Coffee Club is partnering to provide this training. We are getting everything together to host a safe talk for 10 or more people on Saturday, July 12th. Go to Shero Coffee. Go to our website at Shero Coffee Club to find out more this week, because we're going to get that training because we want more lives saved. Kim, do you have anything final to say for the audience? Thank you so much for being here today.
No, thank you so much for having me. I just will say that if we find that there's such a vast amount of people that sign up and it's too many for one session, I'm happy to do more sessions, as many sessions as we need to get people prepared and suicide safe alert.
Spoken like a true Shero. You guys, till next time, keep your heart strong and your coffee Shero.